What's going on, everybody? King Friday here, and I am here with my good friend Jeff Briggs from Canon. We are here at NSM 2024 for JB&A. It's been fun so far. It's actually the first shoot of the day, so but we're here.
Get into it.
And you brought toys.
Lots of them.
This is awesome.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah. So let's just get right into it.
Okay.
So there have been a lot of different trade shows, a lot of everybody's doing announcements right now and all that kind of thing. What is new for Canon right now, would you say?
Yeah, so at Canon on our PTZ side, we're really excited about our new controller. It's the RCIP 1000. Nice. And with this controller, you're able to have a live multi-view on there, and very feature-rich unit to do all the colors and shading that you would need to do, as well as very smooth operation for our PTZ controllers as well.
Nice. So I've used the single before, just the one joystick and then just the one the one monitor.
Correct.
But the one thing I always wanted was potentially preview to start, but then now you've got multiple previews on one box. That's
absolutely
amazing.
So you can break that into a 3x3, 2x2, or just have a single display showing the camera as well.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
In limited environments where you don't have a lot of gear, or you may not have a reference monitor for the PTZ operator, they can basically use that as a standalone piece.
That's awesome. So can you flip through, so you could have, you know, like 10 different PTZ cameras on whatever your network is, but then flip through all 10?
And you can set presets on it as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Does it still have motion trace, to be able to, you know, to choose your PTZ, you know, your movement, and then be able to recall that? Is that still in this one?
Yes, so you can do that as well.
So awesome.
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
it. I love it. I think that's one thing about Canon, especially with their PTZs, but their PTZ controllers is like, I've always said, it's the cream of the crop.
Absolutely. We're, you know, the developers of the sensor itself, so it is a fine piece all the way through the camera. And what we're showing right here is the N500. We have the N700, which is our top of the line model as well. So you're able to do, you know, full 4K 60 with that unit. And then there's the 300, and our new 100 unit is available as well. Kind of our entry level product. Still get that great Canon sensor with the unit. However, it's a friendly sub $2,000 price point for people that are looking for the known Canon quality and the coloring that Canon can do, just at a lower price point.
I think that's the interesting thing, is that known Canon quality. It's absolutely true. It's like from the sensor to the glass to the robotics. It's like I think sometimes you can see in whatever type of product, it's like they hit one thing sometimes really well, but then everything else sort of like, you know, it works, but it might not work as well as the one thing that they're known for.
Yes.
But Canon, just like from start to finish, like I've used everything but the 100, and they're just a joy.
Absolutely. And what we see a lot is we hear from systems integrators and people that are actually using the gear that it is so easy to color shade these cameras to match anything else in the environment. So many places these days are using multiple brands, multiple cameras, certain lenses for different things or what have you. And if you're trying to shade that with other PTZ cameras, unfortunately, sometimes it's really, really hard to do that. And then the settings don't save. You go to do your shoot, and then your coloring is completely off.
Right.
And, you know, from a technical aspect, you know, that technical director doesn't want to use that camera if they can't color match.
Yeah. And I think that brings us into an interesting point, is that the sort of the use cases of where Canon, especially Canon PTZs go. I know you've got lots of things here, and we'll talk about it, but specifically for PTZs, and it's like, and I want to ask you the question: where do you see Canon PTZs really being utilized well?
Yeah. So certainly House of Worship is a huge market for PTZ. You're able to put a camera in an environment where you may not necessarily be able to put a big stand and a big tripod and things like that. So use case for it in a House of Worship is great because it can almost go anywhere. Yeah. Anywhere you can get a pole or you have a wall or something that can affix to that. Also, you know, live sports is something that we're seeing it in anywhere from, you know, high school athletics to, you know, higher ed universities using them for sure. We have a line of outdoor PTZ cameras as well.
That's right.
And so for soccer, for baseball.
Isn't that the one that's got the little, doesn't it have a windshield wiper on it?
Yeah,
like a lens wiper?
There is an option for that as well, yes. So for outdoor applications, you know, you don't have to worry about the weather, whereas, you know, putting up a camera of any other kind. It's just going to be for that day. And if there's harsh weather environments, you're potentially damaging the camera.
Yeah, definitely.
So having something that's, IP rated for outdoor uses is great.
Absolutely.
Definitely in broadcast, there's opportunities for this as well, and that's anything from live events, concerts, trade shows where you're doing presentations and things like that. Where it comes into the streaming side of it, PTZ cameras are a great option as well, and you can. Like with our RCIP 1000, you can control multiple cameras. So you have one operator who's controlling 4 cameras, 6 cameras, 12 cameras, whatever is in that environment, and you can cut down on the amount of people that are required for that thing. Certainly, you can set a static shot on a camera. But then it kind of limits you in a sense to that. With a PTZ camera, you can have presets set and then go from head to a wide shot, see the audience, see the crowd, all with a single camera very quickly.
Especially with the 700 being able to have the 4K, but then the crop in,
Correct.
the simultaneous
that's a huge
1080p crop in.
That's a huge factor of it. So while the price point may be expanded on that unit, the ability to do that, you're essentially getting 2 cameras in one.
Yeah.
Or more than that sometimes, depending on how you're setting it up.
Absolutely.
So to be able to go from a full frame shot of head to toe to a crop shot of waist up, and not limit your quality at all is huge.
Now I want to go back to, we were specifically talking about camera matching, color matching, using log, the Canons allow you to be able to use log to be able to do a Rec 709 color shift over to with a LUT. And a lot of the reasons why I love Canon PTZ, and I get excited about products that I actually really use and love.
Sure.
It's like one of those things is that, like you said, being able to match anything. And one of those things that they match, because for me, I love the mirrorless look. I've always loved the mirrorless look, of the, the either micro four thirds. It's like, that style, and then interchangeable lenses, being able to have, specific lens for the specific use case. Yep. Being able to have a wide open, 1.8 or 1.4, or being able to, use a telephoto, being able to have all of that, capability, have, even higher bit rates and all that type of thing. I love that.
Yeah.
But now, JB&A is actually going to be able to sell.
Yes.
If I'm understanding this
Absolutely.
correctly, the entire Canon EOS line.
Yeah, so
which is amazing.
We're excited about a lot of new offerings that we're going to be able to provide to JB&A, being the C70, which is a industry-known product that is.
Can I pick it up?
Yeah, absolutely. So this has got so many features to it. The ability to have that interchangeable lens is fantastic. Gives you so many more options than some of the other cameras do. And the R5C is another unit as well. Again, that interchangeable lens and being able to match to the style that you want to create.
Absolutely.
Gives the creative side so many more options to it. PTZ cameras are great.
Yeah.
However, the depth of field and things like that may not be what you're looking for on that shoot. You're able to create any type of look, with that.
Or roving. You can't walk around with that on a stick.
For sure.
Can't do that, That might be interesting. I don't know. I would not recommend doing that. Don't do that at home. Please don't do that at home. But yeah,
absolutely.
it's amazing. Just slipping in like this.
Yeah.
It's like getting into a Lamborghini.
Absolutely.
It's beautiful. And the fact too, I think the other fact too is that I think some mirrorless camera manufacturers, they can be used in a broadcast sense. It's possible. Yes, you can. Anything that has an HDMI output, yes, you could put it into an encoder, and there you go.
Sure.
But it's not. They're not really thinking of it in a broadcast sense when they build it.
Right.
Canon from start to finish, it's like you guys have been in the broadcast industry for a very, very long time.
Yes.
So it's like, and it's clear that it fits right into your workflow.
Yeah, absolutely. Lots of features on there. Way too much for me to kind of go over.
Sure.
Now.
No, there's a lot. No, we have limited time today.
But these cameras, have use cases all across the board, from being used in live production to a more traditional, studio setting like we're doing today, interview style. but so many options for those creative, portions. We were talking about House of Worship for PTZ.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of interviews and other things like that that they do, and format pieces for a church. A camera like that provides you the opportunities to create all of those things and really be creative.
Absolutely. And I actually see a lot at my church is that, the initial investment that they have for the cameras that they use every Sunday, that might be like, that's it for like the next couple of years,
Sure.
like for what they're using as their broadcast live streaming cameras on Sunday. So then if you were to say that it's like, well, now we want something that we can use for green screen work, or we want to do something for announcements, or we need another camera that we can take on a mission trip, whatever it happens to be.
Right.
It's like, that may be out of reach to do another one.
For sure.
So in this case, that's a really great part about this, is that now you've got cameras that can easily pivot from the broadcast to take it wherever you want it. Every camera could be a rover,
As opposed to having just a single purpose device, you're having not even dual purpose, multi-purpose, applications for it as well.
Let's talk a little bit about the camcorder line, because it's a different form factor, different use case. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so our XF605 is kind of our flagship to that Pro Video camcorder line. And as you can see on there, it's got XLR inputs, which is huge. It's not additional pieces, which is an additional point of failure or something like that to go on. So again, lots of features on this unit, all in one piece. Where we love the C70 and the R5C, those are great cameras. However, to build into that what is required for this, you're going to have a lots of other pieces and things like that.
Sure.
Fixed lens, so that is a difference between that. However, applications for this, we'd talked about, going out in the field and doing, something like this is so easily used in multiple applications like that, whether you need to be completely remote and you need to not have a lot of other gear with you.
Right.
This packs all of that into one piece for you.
I think that is an interesting concept too, is the fact that it's like, for a lot of cameras, you need, you're going to need a massive cage. Like for this one, you would probably, if you wanted to do it as a rover or something, if you wanted to put it on a stabilizer, you need a cage, you need a field monitor, you need the rest of those types of things potentially. It's like, but this, you're ready to go.
For sure.
You're definitely ready to go.
And you have your inputs there for your audio to do that as well. In addition to that, the recording capabilities, of the SD card or whatever that's in there, you're able to to do all that right on the unit itself.
That's amazing. Awesome. Yeah. No, that's the other thing I love about Canon is the breadth of application. It's that you don't just do the one thing, there's really something for every specific use case. And I think the one thing that we haven't talked about is the lenses that now, going into mirrorless, this style of camera that has interchangeable lens capabilities. We're going to need lenses as well. So do we get to sell the lenses as well?
Yeah, so there's a wide amount of lenses that are going to be available to JB&A, in addition to our compact servo lenses, which those can be used.
This one here?
Yeah, you can see the controls on there as well, so it can be used in a broadcast or studio environment. With controls and things like that.
Oh yeah, you can have that on a tripod control then.
And then in addition, to that, it affixes to other lens or other cameras than Canon. Obviously, if you're looking for Canon for cameras, Canon is a great option, and we'd love to sell you that. But if you have existing and you just need to change out those lenses, our cameras are ready, or our lenses are able to affix to those cameras as well.
So what you're saying is there's pretty much no excuse to not get into the Canon ecosystem in some
form.
That's awesome.
For sure. Yeah, and we have great options for demoing the product as well.
Nice.
So if there is a use case where, hey, someone wants to check out one of our PTZ cameras, we're able to work with your JB&A rep and get us involved. We will love to send you out a camera to do some demo and some testing.
So me, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I'm really excited about this. I think for our resellers, for our customers, I think this opens up a whole new way of thinking for broadcast, that it doesn't just have to be on the PTC side. It doesn't just have to be on the full-blown broadcast cameras. There's a lot of nuance now that we can really hone in on, okay, what is the use case? Canon already has something to be able to suit that, but let's figure out your exact use case and then execute on what product that might be. And there's all these new cool ones.
Absolutely. And we're seeing that transition from broadcast and cinema where that's the blending it together.
Isn't that interesting? Yeah, absolutely.
So kind of years ago how it was AV was separate from all the IT stuff and that blended together. We're seeing that in the broadcast space with a more cinematic styles and looks to people's productions.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there are very few situations to where, I mean, like maybe in sports and certain applications, it's like you're not really attempting to go for some like high cinematic, artistic type of look.
Right.
It's like, but at this point, it's like, why aren't you doing that? It's like, it used to be that this was so unattainable for so many people, but now it's like the high quality sensors, the just killer glass, at this point, smart glass essentially, that has all the, additional functionality. It's available for people now. It's not just for, J.J. Abrams.
Correct.
Yeah, it's great.
Yep.
Awesome. Jeff, thank you so much.
Jordan.
This has been an amazing conversation. Thank you so much for sharing all this stuff. So
appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can people get in touch with you if they want to start the Canon journey?
Yeah, the best way to do that is to contact your JB&A representative, and we'll get involved. Give us an opportunity to work with you. We'd love the opportunity to do that, and we have a camera or lens for every use case that you have.
Awesome. Jeff, thank you so much. This has been great. So if you have any other questions, don't hesitate to contact your JB&A representative. They would be happy to help. And I've been King Friday. We're at NSM 2024 in Sonoma. Take care.